Today we're going to look at standard form. Now, standard forms are for writing numbers that are extremely big or that are extremely very small. Write this number in standard form. So the first thing we do is we put a point between 2 and 3. So we are going to have 2.3. Then we multiply this by 10. So this is the first step that you do. And then you count from the right coming to the left until this decimal point here. So we count how many numbers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You include 3 also because 3 is before the decimal point. So we raise this to power 7. Let's look at if we are dealing with numbers which already have decimal points. Now when we are dealing with numbers which already have decimal points, we go from the left to the right. Numbers which are whole numbers, we go from the right to the left. But if it is numbers which have decimal points, we go from the left to the right. That is the only difference. So this time when we are going to start counting, we put the decimal point between, there is already a decimal point here, but this is not our main focus. We come and put a new decimal point between 3 and 2. So we are going to have 3.2 times 10. Times 10 is always a constant. Then you come and count from this decimal point now. You don't start from this 0, you start from the decimal point, going this side. For the positive numbers, we came this side. But for this side, we are going to come from the left, go to the right. So we count how many numbers before up to this decimal point, that is between 3 and 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We also include 3 because the decimal point will be put after 3. So in this case, we are not going to have the power as positive, but we are going to have it as negative 4. Now this time is going to be negative because we are dealing with numbers which already have decimal points. Now, if a number is already given in standard form and you're asked to convert it back, now the most important thing to remember is the decimal, is the power. Remember to how many powers has it been raised to. In this case, it is to 4. So the numbers from this decimal point here, this side have to be 4. The total have to be 4. So in that case, we already have 2 numbers here. 0 and 2, that is already part of this 4. Now we need to add 2 more numbers to make it power 4. So in that case, we are going to have 1, 0, 2, we add 2 zeros, 0, 0. So that the numbers after this decimal point will be 4. Let's look at if you're given a number and it is negative. How will you handle that? Now, for positive numbers, we go to the right. But when it comes to negative, we go to the left. That is the only difference. As you can see from negative 5, that means there are 5 numbers from the first decimal point. So we start with 0 point. Now we include 5 numbers. Now the fifth number has to be 7. Because 7 is included, because 7 is before the decimal point. So we are going to have the first 0, the second 0, the third 0, the fourth 0, and now the fifth 0 is for 7. So we are going to include 7. And then this 6. So 7.6 times 10 raised to power negative 5 will be 0.000076. When you're given a number like in this form, converted back to standard form, you're going to have 7. You put the decimal point here now. 0.6 times 10. You come and count from this decimal point here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even 7 is included, so negative 5. That is why you've been able to come up to this. Let's look at multiplication of standard form. Now when you're multiplying numbers in standard form, we basically consider their powers. The whole numbers, we multiply them direct, but when it comes to the powers, if it is multiplication, we add the powers. If it is division, we're going to subtract the powers. That's the only difference between multiplication and division. And in this case, we are multiplying numbers in standard form. So we are going to add the powers. The natural numbers, the whole numbers, we just multiply them the way they are. So we are going to have 8 times 5, that will be 40, times 10. You keep the times 10 a constant. Now when it comes to the powers, we add them. So we're going to have 7 plus 2, that will be 9. So this written, when you add them, will be 40 times 10 raised to power 9. Now with division, we're going to subtract the powers. So let's look at this number. 3 over 5, we handle the whole numbers just the way they are. So in this case, we are going to have 3 over 5 times 10. Now the powers we're going to subtract. So we're going to have 5 minus 2. We subtract the lower power from the upper one. So 5 minus 2, that will be 3. Convert 3 out of 5, that will be 0.6 times 10 raised to power 3. So when we have a number like 0.6 times 10 raised to power 3, there's still a point here, so we don't leave it like that. We have to make sure a number from 1 up to 9 is this side of the decimal point. So now we are going to have 6 times 10 raised to power 2 this time, because we are bringing this one this side. That means 1 0 will be cancelled. So in this case, we are going to have 6 times 10 raised to power 2 as our final answer. Now let's look at addition. Now we have 2.3 times 10 raised to power 4. We convert this to natural numbers. Now there is already one number here, so that means we are going to add 3 more zeros to make it to power 4. So we are going to have 2, 3 plus 3 zeros. So that when you convert this to standard form, you're going to have this. There is already one number here, so you add 3 more zeros to make it 4. The same with this. This one, there are already 2 of them. So we have 1, 2. And they are raised to 5. So that means that there is only space remaining for 3. So we are going to have 4, 3, 1. These 2 are already given. So we add 3 more zeros. 0, 0, 0. And when you add these 2 numbers together, you're going to come up with this answer. Now we have to write this in standard form. So we are going to count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 4.54. We have 4.54 times 10. Now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is raised to power 5 as our final answer. Now we are given this number. And let's see how we can subtract them. The first thing you have to do is convert them to numbers which have decimal points, so that it will be very easy to subtract the both of them. So let's convert this back to numbers with ordinary decimal points. We have 8.32 times 10 raised to power negative 3. Now we are here. That means we add the zeros this side. 8 is one of the numbers out of these 3. So that means we add 2 more zeros. When we add 2 more zeros from here, we are going to have 0.00 before the 8. And then we include 8. Then we bring these 2 numbers now, 3, 2. Then we go ahead and subtract this. So we are going to have 0.123. Now the fourth one will be 3. Then we add the 8. So we go ahead and subtract this. Answer will be 0.00794. Now we express this in standard form. We need one number on this side, and the first number is 7. So we are going to write 7.94 times 1, 2, 3. There are 3 numbers. So we put times 10 raised to power negative 3. So this number expressed in standard form will be 7.94 times 10 raised to power negative 3.